Good afternoon, everyone. Over the past 2 weeks, you've worked your way through preparation, practice, and multiple rounds of debates. Starting back in March, you built your arguments, refined your thinking, and debated your peers. Today, we've reached the final round, where the strongest teams from both campuses will put everything together one last time. Before we begin, I want to quickly review the structure and expectations so everyone is clear. Each team will present and defend their arguments, respond to opposing claims, and engage in crossfire when appropriate. This is your opportunity to demonstrate not just what you know, but how effectively you can communicate, think critically, and respond in the moment.
So one speaker will go at a time, and you have 4 minutes to present your argument. You do not have to use all that time, but you can yield the remainder. Once both speakers have presented, there's going to be a 1-minute debrief where you get to consult with your team. Okay? Once both speakers have presented, the 1-minute debrief has gone, then there will be a crossfire where only the presenting speakers can engage in the crossfire. It's only 2 minutes, so it's very important that you're mindful of the time. When there's 30 seconds left, I'll put a knock on the table so you know. You might have to interrupt each other to do it, and please do so respectfully. Okay? But you can pass notes to each other as you do this. After that, when the timer goes off, we're going to allot 2 minutes for each team to debrief before the next pair of speakers present. The rules are quite simple. You may speak only when it is your turn, and you must maintain decorum and be respectful. Any disrespectful communication will result in a point deduction. Andrea Salvez, our Director of ELA, will judge the debate, scoring each individual once in each category and then determining the final score. The team with the most points wins. At this point, everything you've done has led to this moment. Focus on clarity, evidence, and strong reasoning, and most importantly, engage respectfully and thoughtfully with one another.
All right, let's get started. Let's start by introducing ourselves. Do you want Dean to go first?
Sure.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
I'm April Serrano, and I'm Speaker 1.
My name is Serena Riley. I'm Speaker 2.
My name is Lachlan Kazuski. I am Speaker 3.
Hey, I'm Andres, and I'm Speaker 4.
And now for North.
My name is Ricardo Rosado, and I'm Speaker 1.
I'm Eric Gonzalez, and I'd like to welcome the guests to Holyoke High. I'm Speaker 2, and I'm focusing on rebuttal.
I'm Adrian Rodriguez, and I'll be Speaker 3.
I'm Liliana De Jesus, and I'm Speaker 4.
All right, so North is going to start.
Yep, so we decided, because of our guests, North will start, Dean will have the last word. Okay?
All right, let's do a round of applause, everyone. Good luck.
Yes, do this. Yeah, thank you. All right, at this time, we will have the opening statement from Team North for speaking. You have 4 minutes on the clock.
My opening statement is, for nearly a century now, college has been the primary route to social and professional advancements. However, in the past few decades, the growth of trade schools has sparked debate about whether college remains the most reliable path to high status and well-compensated careers. Despite the growth of trade schools, college stands as a primary route to achieve success in today's society. The primary markers of success, according to surveys on adults in the United States, is providing for one's family, personal happiness and fulfillment, and career achievement. College leads to being able to provide for one's family because, from evidence in the United States Department of Education, college graduates in the long span of their entire career earn $1 million more compared to trade school graduates, which with the additional income allows them to provide for their family. Also, personal happiness is something you can get from college because evidence from the American Academy of Arts and Sciences show that 91% of college graduates report being satisfied with their life, which shows a relation between college and personal happiness. And evidence also predicts that by 2034, majority of jobs seen as high prestige and respected, such as accountants, software developers, and healthcare professionals, will only be accessible via college education. And for these reasons, college remains as a necessity to achieve success in today's society. I'm done.
Dean will now present their opening statement.
Imagine spending 4 or more years in college, thousands of dollars in debt, and still struggling to find a job, while someone in vocational training is already working, earning money, and gaining real experience. Vocational training is often a better pathway than college because it provides hands-on experience, leads directly to careers with required certifications, and can get students into the workforce faster. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, many trade and technical careers like electricians, plumbers, and HVAC technicians are in high demand and offer strong wages without requiring a 4-year degree. This means students who choose vocational training can start earning more money sooner, avoid large student debt, and gain real-world experience while others are still in school. In contrast, college students may face uncertainty, delayed income, and no guarantee of a job after earning a degree.
Both teams have 1 minute to confer with one another before we engage in cross.
But if they ask me a question,
He has some questions he can ask. Their argument is more documentary. He's this is right. Just ask simple questions. You can use these.
At this point, you have 2 minutes to engage in crossfire. Only the first speakers may engage. 2-minute timer. All right, you may engage.
So you said HVAC and things that like jobs that are connected with trade schools start earning right away, but I want to know how much do they start earning when they graduate from trade schools?
it mostly depends. Can you elaborate about it?
Like in general, what's the average income that they make from when they're starting off?
It mostly depends on the type of job that you have, but around 50 to 70.
50 to 70,000.
Yes.
Where's the evidence that says that they make that much?
In the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Let me see.
And that is time. At this minute, you have 2 minutes to debrief with your team, so if there's added notes from that crossfire you didn't get in, now is the time to lead it into the next speakers.
I read the wrong evidence. I know, but I can't cross it out.
I know
At the time, we will now introduce the second speaker from North. The 4 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, while trade schools have been quite a promising career choice for people, data shows although trade careers can start strong, college graduates constantly earn more over time and higher income earnings. The source is accredited schools online also made and one of the main vocal points that I have personally for that is we all know that college is female predominant career path, right? 58% of them is women, while 42% of it is men that do go to college. We know this from National Center for Education and Statistics. Also, we know that 95% of men, it's a 95% predominantly men career path for trade schools. We know this from the same article, meaning, and that's highly give, it's roughly more 56%, while it's 5% of women only going. So college is very essential, especially for people like women who do not go for the career of trade schools. Of course, there are women that are in trade, That's pretty ridiculous to say that there isn't. There is. But mainly, that's one of the main points for the college path. Also, one of the talking statements you guys might, one of the main talking stages you guys might bring about is AI. I don't want to be the first I hate to be the first guy to mention this, right? AI, obviously. You guys are probably going to mention, hey, AI is leading further and further, especially in things like education in the medical field. Although some of that might be true, I don't know if you guys personally have ever heard of the AI bubble theory. It's this thing, we see this past like the housing crisis, the economic collapse of 1929, which ended up being the stock market crash, the dot-com bubble that happened roughly 20 years ago, I'm pretty sure. Overall, this means that there's constantly further investment of AI, further investment, but they're not being capable to come out with an outcome for those investments. So people might pull out of the AI investments, which may lead to depression, essentially economically wise, which would mean things like trade jobs, plumbers, carpenters, and electricians, there wouldn't be any money to pay for them. Would you rather fix your own table in an economic depression where you can't pay for it? You would rather Ricardo. You would rather do it yourself than have somebody do it for you. Meanwhile, doctors, there's constantly need for doctors. Everybody gets hurt every day. People get sick every day. There's going to be people are giving birth every day, which requires doctors. There's people that need certain things like accountants for their taxes, which are very highly accredited and very needed jobs. Obviously, trade jobs are needed too. We need construction workers and plumbers and electricians. I'm not trying to belittle their job careers, but one of the main focal points of college is these high-end demand jobs that people need now. And yes, there is needing for jobs like plumbing, electricians, etc. in the trade field. But one of the main needs also, we see that there's, especially with Gen Z, our new generation, there's high focus on trade jobs, right? There's higher. Okay.
Our second speaker, thank you so much.
All right. Now for our rebuttal, second speaker, Team B. About 4 minutes.
The opposing side may argue that college is better because it offers higher paying jobs, more career options, and a well-rounded education. While it is true that some careers like doctors or lawyers require a college degree and can lead to higher salaries, this path takes many years and is not the best fit for everyone. However, vocational training provides a faster, more direct path into the workforce with real experiences and requires certifications. Instead of spending years in school without guaranteed results, students in vocational programs are already building skills employers need right away. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics shows that many skilled traders are growing quickly and pay competitive wages without needing a 4-year degree. And also, the Georgetown University Center of Education and the Workforce also reports that not all college degrees can lead to a high-paying job, especially when they aren't tied to specific careers. So while college can be valuable in certain fields, vocational training is often the smarter, more efficient choice for students who want stable careers, less debt, and a quicker success into the real world. You also stated about AI, but you didn't state the part that trade schools usually focus on high demanded jobs. Not necessarily, oh, well, AI is going to take over. Meaning high demanding jobs means that ones that we're going to need in the future. So while doctors and, lawyers, I 100% agree with, but if we're really talking, AI, well, college also has more desk jobs, which AI could possibly take over. So trade schools have more jobs like nursing, CNA, they have culinary cooks, they have electricians that we're gonna 100% need, and carpentry, which we're gonna need people to build buildings for us, because I'm pretty sure AI cannot do that. So while it still may not focus on, what you're talking about, I also disagree with the AI part or AI even going ahead to take over. You also mentioned that more females go to college because trade schools don't have enough, female jobs. But we have nursing, we have cosmetology, which many females nowadays really want to do is cosmo. We have culinary, and we even have other trade jobs that men do that females are 100% willing to do. Not because of their gender, they have to decide, oh, because my gender doesn't do this, I'm not going to do this. It's based on your personal opinion and experiences. So I would really input that. But I also have a question, but I'm going to leave that for the question part.
Okay, you have 1 minute to debrief with your team before we engage in process.
They're talking about jobs. If she's talking about nursing, they can nurse. Or if they can just nurse practitioner. Because when they become doctors, nurses, they can only become dead.
Okay, that is time. Now 2 minutes to engage in crossfire. Second, virtual.
I wasn't talking about an AI takeover. I was talking about the exact opposite happening because of the economic collapse, which would affect things like trade jobs. I'm not saying AI could essentially, ChatGPT can't screw in a light bulb, obviously, right? Or fix wiring. What I was saying was that one of your guys' probably arguments that there's offices jobs, right, that could get taken over by AI. But I'm saying how actually guaranteed is this AI to happen? There's constant, faulty things. And also, another thing is, you said nurses. You can't, with trade schools, you can't be an actual nurse. You need 4 years of actual college work. You could be a nurse practitioner. You could get your way up. Yeah, you could be a nurse. You could be a nurse assistant, which would lead up to you going to college to actually get that nurse work done.
Okay, I'm not really interrupting, but I agree, once again. Those careers do require college, but not everyone wants or need those jobs. Vocational training focuses on careers that are in high demand, like right now. So like electricians, mechanics, and technicians, which are essential and also well-paying if we talk it money-wise. But I also have a question. So is it worth going to college for how many years and having student debt?
The thing about that, right? This is an obvious vocal point in debates, especially with college. There is, right, debate. I don't know about the people in this room, right? Some of these guys are probably still have the effects of that, right? I don't know all of you guys. Obviously, I can't tell you guys stories. And certain career jobs, college jobs, are obviously faulty when it comes to the pay. Like a 4-year thing, major in philosophy, you can't pay back with that. That doesn't pay the bills. It could help, but it's not going to pay the bills. But certain jobs that are actually important, like, doctors, lawyers, I hate to go back to that thing, or accountants, pay back. Yeah, it's okay.
You have 1 minute to confer with your group before the third speaker.
But it wasn't bad. It wasn't too bad. It was a little bit of.
That is time. Third speaker from North. You have 4 minutes on the clock. You may begin.
All right. I've heard a lot about, debt, timing, and how these jobs may not be as valuable. But I'm here to explain to you why that really much isn't the case. Even with rising costs, college can still offer a strong return on its investment. Research from the Federal Reserve and Census data shows that households with a bachelor's degree earn over double the income of those with only a high school diploma. This other source is also from Investopedia. Additionally, college graduates tend to have greater job security and more opportunities for promotions and access to professional careers such as medicine, law, engineering, and business. I've heard a couple of times about how debt can affect one's well-being and how that can, possibly hurt them in the bank. But there's many ways to mitigate this, There's the option through the military. Even with war now, there's safer options like Coast Guard, Air Force, flying drones. I'd also like to mention athletic and, academic scholarships as well. These are just some options that can, help mitigate this. And while it may not be the easiest option, it is an option nonetheless. I would also like to point out here that you say that college, is a large commitment. It takes a while, 4 years, even up to 6 to 8 years of doctorates. But by doing 2 college courses at the same time, going through 2 colleges, you can actually mitigate this time by a lot, saving much more time on your investment and saving a lot of money in your investment with what the previous options I just mentioned. I would also like to point out that will become a long-term advantage. As college jobs have, as I said, greater security, they will last longer. While trade jobs, sure, they may be faster, you also gotta think long-term too. As well as that, some trade schools, trade vocational colleges can take up to $20,000. That's still a good amount of debt. Even if we may have double the amount of debt, $20,000 is still $20,000. That's still a lot of money, and even then, you still have to pay that back. Just as, college students will have to pay that back. But what I just mentioned, that'll make it a lot lower, a lot faster, and being able to get the degree and job you want will be a lot easier with what I just mentioned.
Third speaker, Team Dean, you may proceed. You have 4 minutes.
Previously, the opposition focused on higher wages and better job opportunities due to their extended education. But they did not go into as much detail that trade schools can also pay well and have plenty of job opportunities as well, if not more. As previously stated, the demand for trades-related jobs is very high as of recent. Not to mention, the high-paying jobs you can get are that you get from trades, such as engineering or electrician, averaging from $60,000 to $150,000. Trade schools provide people life skills. Just learn for a paycheck. You can use these skills for yourself and for others, such as fixing a roof or, say, your plumbing, etc. Not to mention, you do not have to lag behind waiting to finally start working. Keep in mind that while college can earn you plenty of money, so can trades. And not only that, but just as it was said before, they can also get you into the workforce faster and more reliably, but also is the most unlikely to be replaced by artificial intelligence. All of this leads to less financial stress and more independence at a younger age.
You have 1 minute to debrief with your team before we engage in questions.
I don't like this. I don't like how they're making us like
I like this.
Do you have any input?
Yeah, you do.
Do you have any input?
That's the thing.
We will now engage in crossfire between the third speaker's votes. You may start.
All right, I would like to start off with you saying engineers. Engineering itself is actually a college degree. And in trade schools, most engineering is based off technical assisting work and through things like diesel. It's not necessarily engineering itself, it's a sub-factor, but it's not engineering. So you kind of misaligned a job that's actually on our side. And I would just like to ask, how does trade school prepare students for career changes if their industry declines?
They prepare themselves for industry decline.
Yes. Once that demand is met for trade jobs, how does it prepare them to, deal with the sacrifice of possibly losing out?
Well, I think that trade schools, in the face of industry decline, would be able to suffice in the pay that they are given, and if it does happen to decrease in work and the opportunities start to decline, as you've said, there's still so many other options, and I don't think that they're all going to decrease at the same time, because that would be a catastrophe.
That didn't really answer my question of does it prepare students? How does trade school prepare students for the industry declines? Not the opportunities that they could do, but how does it prepare them if it declines? And also, if short-term earnings are higher, how do trade careers compare in lifetime earnings?
Sorry, I can't. I have bad hearing. What?
I said, along with this, if short-term earnings are higher, how do trade careers compare in lifetime earnings?
Well, so you're saying how would they compare in lifetime earnings to college?
No, just in general. I already mentioned the long-term, how would it work long-term, but I'm also asking how would it compare lifetime to college jobs? And I'm still asking, how does trade school prepare students for career changes if the industry decline?
And that is time. So before we engage in the closing statements, that's the last crossfire. We are going to give you 2 minutes. Don't leave the 2 minutes, and we'll start the final statements earlier, but we're going to give you 2 minutes to debrief with your team before you engage in last statements. 2 minutes on the clock. You may debrief.
Yeah, do you have any answers? See here just to show that unemployment is very low.
That is time. North will proceed with their presentation, followed by Dean, who have 4 minutes on the clock.
There's a reason why college is very emphasized and popularized in today's age. College can open doors for students who wish to pursue a job that aligns with their interests and skills. Not every person will want to attend a trade school and do physical work. Many people, especially women, are glad to sit through college classes if it means they are able to pursue the job they desire instead of any technical trades that they wouldn't want to go to. I'd also like to mention the issue with debt. The opposing side may think college isn't worth the debt, but it actually is. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, workers with a bachelor's degree earn about $1,543 per week compared to $1,020 for those without a degree, which is $74,064 compared to $48,960 per year. And additionally, college graduates actually have a lower unemployment rate than people who are in a trade school. At accredited schools online, they state that additionally, college graduates have lower unemployment rates, around 2% and higher lifetime earnings. So if you go to college and get a degree, you'll actually and not in a disrespectful way, but if you do go to college, and even if you just graduate a 4-year college, you will have that degree, and it will look good in front of bosses because it makes them think okay, this person is experienced in this field because they went and got this degree. And also, again, with the debt, there are ways to avoid debt. You could also get a scholarship. I know many people, even here, want to play sports and get a sports scholarship so you don't have to worry about paying off debt in college, and that actually will help. And there's also people in your school, I don't know about your school, but personally for our school, we do have a financial aid and someone who will help you, control your debt or just, help you along your way. And and if you attend 2 colleges at the same time, that can actually, you can earn more college credits, and that will lower the time you will have to stay in college. Done, potentially.
Thank you. Dean will have the last word. Closing statement, 4 minutes.
So you guys said the unemployment rate is higher than people are getting in. But if we look at the statistics, we see that people are retiring more than people are getting in. So the unemployment rate is just not there. And not in a mean way or anything, but not in a mean way or anything, but I think, I know that if you join a vocational shop or degree, or you get a degree or a diploma, you're set for life. So there are some reasons, and there are 3 reasons why college is just not the way to go. And 3 reasons are: the cost is too high, it takes too much time, and the risk is higher than the guaranteed job you worked for. So, and you work that hard, 4 years on that one diploma, and some people don't even get the job that they worked for from that diploma. So you have this diploma just sitting around, but you don't use it. And for these reasons, vocational training has many options. And in vocational training, you can see what you want and you can do whatever you want. And in college, it's just about knowing what you want and what you want to do. And college can get you a degree, but but they can't give you no certificates, and that's before college even starts. But vocational schools equals lifelong skills and opportunity to succeed. Even though college gives you offers or degrees, offers you degrees, but there's no guarantee of you getting a job after the school. With that being said, why should someone spend a 4+ years in school when they could just start earning money in a 1 to 2 years through vocational training? And if degrees are so valuable, why do employers still say that they want to experience that first? And why are skilled trades high in demand right now if college is better path?
Thank you. All right, that is the close of the debate. So round of applause. So that she can calibrate and total scores. And while we do that, I just want to. We didn't actually. After Michelle Gould, teacher, instructional coach at North.
Haley Burgers, same title. Now they didn't let us all do like a class. This is so unfair.
Oh yes. Oh my God, I did. Nice meeting you.
Oh.
So we just want to acknowledge.
Oh, we don't get flowers.
The students have worked very, very hard. Their teachers have also worked very, very hard. So we just wanted to show our gratitude to the teachers. So if our ELA teachers would
you don't get
please
flowers?
stand up. Come up front.
Mr. Moore saying, "Mommy, can you? What is he doing?"
Fallon. Thank you. Ms. Dewberry. Thank you. And these other 2 are for each.
Mr. Simone and Mr. Morissette. 14.
My teacher.
Thank you.
We're still waiting on the score, so we're just gonna relax. And we do have $20 gift cards for the winner for each student for GoBev. So,
Mrs. Salvis, Director of VLA, I wanted to echo what your family, caregivers, teachers, coaches, principals have said. The work that you did today and have been doing leading up to today has been exceptional, truly exceptional.
Don't make me clapping.
I was looking for a few things so that you kind of understood the rationale that I had when I was giving you my scores today. Ultimately, I needed to know who was going to persuade me, right? Who was going to persuade me either to enter the trade or go to college. I thought through reasons and evidence. I thought through how you constructed your case. I thought through your logic, credibility, and your sense of emotion as you were speaking to us, the audience, as well as to one another. How thoughtfully you listened to your opponent, and then the relevant and credible data that you shared when you were voicing your opinions. Organization was huge, as well as the delivery, right, as you were speaking. And then ultimately teamwork. How cohesive were you as you were debating with one another? With that in mind, there was one particular school who had really clear organization to their arguments and included logical, credible evidence, as well as their sources and corresponding data. The score was very, very close. It was 71 points to 78 points. And the ultimate winner of this debate was Holyoke High School North.
Oh my God, that's